Hello, my loves, and welcome back to a new episode. Today, I'm going to tell you everything I learned about house hunting in Puerto Rico while taking you all on a tour of one of our favorite houses that we visited. This beautiful house is a 3-bedroom home on 3 acres of land. It has a swimming pool, many golf holes, hundreds of fruit trees, and vegetables planted, and there's a sauna. First things first, our reasoning for moving from the mainland is simple. We want fresh air, nearby beaches, fertile tropical soil to grow all of our food while being surrounded by a community that enjoys being a community. So, while in Puerto Rico learning how to day trade, we went on a few house tours to figure out if this would be our next home. Here's 10 things that you should know before moving to this beautiful island. 10. Look for a house with solar power and be prepared for a $10,000 transfer fee. The power grid is super unstable for now, and rolling blackouts or power outages are constant on the island. My worst fear is being in a trade and losing all power and not knowing if my account is blown for days. 9. Location, location, location. 5 miles on the island is not the same as 5 miles in Atlanta. If you want a mountainous land, you may be driving up a very steep cliff that has no lights at night and minimum guardrails. If you want city or suburban areas, then you probably won't have much space for land and growing food. There's very few in-betweens. 8. Property tax and exemptions. Property tax is super low on the island compared to the mainland because of Tax Act 60. This tax break is structured for businesses that serves clients outside of Puerto Rico, such as online retail, digital apps, and more. It gives you a 4% corporate tax rate and tax-free dividends. And for traders and investors like us, we're eligible for a 100% exemption on capital gains, interest, and dividends. Stocks, cryptos, futures, options, real estate, all of that. Much more profits. And you can receive all of this if you make an annual donation of $10,000 to any Puerto Rican charity. But please know that many PR natives will hate and despise you if you flaunt that you receive this benefit, because it continues the displacements and disparities of the natives being able to afford their own homeland. Number 7, title and legal ownership issues. There are many properties listed on Zillow and Clasificados that have title and legal ownership issues. Some properties in PR has issues that date back generations. You have to hire a real estate attorney who knows the island systems inside and out. If the paperwork isn't crystal clear, walk away. Number 6, speaking of real estate attorneys, you need to find a good one. And when you do, hold on to them for dear life. The real estate game is vastly different on the island than in the States. We got ghosted several times by several different realtors. Honestly, if it's not an easy sell for them, aka you've done all the legwork like finding the property, setting the appointments, etc., then most of them are not going to be interested in taking you on. Number 5, loan approvals. Coming from the mainland can be difficult for a number of reasons, but one of the main ones is the quality of the home. In many cases, appraisers are optional and banks won't approve a loan if it needs repairs, which means you will have to make the repairs yourself before getting approved for the loan. Now, this situation in itself is risky, especially due to the current homeowners potentially backing out once the repairs are completed. And what's even more potential disaster? The speed of construction. The speed here is so slow that you could honestly be waiting for a really long time. Number 4, there are a lot of crazy stories of mainlanders being ghosted by the construction companies themselves. This isn't always the case, but because of Act 60, some people tend to hold grudges towards the mainlanders and anyone who doesn't have connections on the island prior to moving. So Do your due diligence, make those connections, and make sure you have someone to communicate and oversee the construction. Number 3, speaking of moving, let's talk transportation. The cost of transporting a vehicle is absolutely wild. There are many steps and fees to transport a fully paid off vehicle to the island. And honestly, it's going to cost you way less to buy one on the island than to transfer one over here. But if you do decide to purchase one on the island, please make sure that your dealer files all the paperwork. Otherwise, you're going to get hit with lots of fines. And if you want to transport your paid off vehicle, you're looking at spending around $10,000 to $20,000 in taxes, port fees, and insurance. And if your vehicle isn't paid off, you're going to have to pay it off before transfer. Number 2, moving your property to the island in itself honestly is fairly inexpensive. We found a company that can move all of our furniture in our 3-bedroom home for as little as $5,000. It arrives from your home on the mainland, then drops your property off to the front door on the island. Super helpful, especially if you can move all the furniture yourself and don't need to hire additional movers. Number 1. Now this is a shocker. I know it is. Full sarcasm. Although PR is a U.S. territory, the main language is Spanish. And I do absolutely mean Spanish, not Spanglish. You will find a good bit of people and businesses will not offer English, will not speak English, will not have English written. So be prepared to learn the language, the culture, and do your best to integrate before you make the decision to move here. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tour. It was such a lovely home to visit. We did decide not to get this property just because of the distance it is from a hospital and how far up the mountain it was. And we did not want our teenager driving up and down this mountain at night with no lights and being a new driver on the road. So is Puerto Rico still the dream? Absolutely. But only if we're prepared. So as we're trading full time and building our life and you're doing the same, be sure to set yourself up for success. Do your research, lock in your power and internet, and get a house that fits your long-term vision. Because when everything aligns, this island isn't just paradise, it's power. Thank you so much for watching another episode. Please be sure to tune in for the next episode drop. We're going to be talking day trading, micros, minis, and futures, and mindset that goes behind them. Stay tuned.